It should be no surprise to most, if not all, nature enthusiasts that the natural world is currently in peril. Although human activities such as overhunting have been causing extinctions for over 100,000 years, only recently has the extinction rate skyrocketed to what it is today. Since the year 1500, about 520 years ago, the IUCN, or International Union for Conservation of Nature, has recognised 150 birds, 80 mammals, 32 amphibians, 32 reptiles, and 64 ray finned fish that have gone extinct. It's likely that the number is much higher than this, though, as many species have not been declared extinct yet, and this list does not include species from before 1500. With very few exceptions, most of these species have gone extinct due to anthropogenic causes, which is a scientific way of saying human made causes and disasters. Some of these man made causes include rapid urbanization, global anthropogenic climate change, disease epidemics, habitat loss, including deforestation and desertification, and overconsumption and harvesting of faunal life. It is estimated that every day, anywhere from 50 to 150 species go extinct, with over 30,000 species going extinct every year. Furthermore, the WWF, or World Wildlife Fund, estimates that since 1970, which was only about 54 years ago, wildlife populations globally have experienced a 73% decline. This is heavily environmentally dependent, as freshwater species have experienced a population decline of 85%, and terrestrial species have experienced a population decline of up to 70%. The rate of pre 1970 population decline in wildlife has increased from a decline of 52% in 2010 to 58% in 2014 to 60% in 2018 to 69% in 2022. The wildlife population decline coincides with the global human population increase. In 1970, the global population was around 3.7 billion compared to the 2024 population of 8.15 billion, a more than twofold increase. It is estimated by the United Nations that by 2100, the global human population could be as high as 10.9 billion, with a range of 10.4 to 11.2 billion, depending on the future population growth rate. According to the IUCN, as many as 27% of species could go extinct by 2100. This is atrocious news for the planet, as for every species that goes extinct, the lives of humans become harder and also shorter. For example, insect populations have declined at an annual rate of up to 2%, and as we should all know, a world without insects would be a bad place to live. If pollinating insects went extinct due to pesticides and climate change, the world's supply of fruits and vegetables would decline rapidly and their prices would increase rapidly. Such a scenario would see human health and nutrition decrease. Similar events would play out if other pollinating faunal species, such as bats or hummingbirds, went extinct, and such extinctions would lead to something known as an ecological collapse. Now, if you've ever heard of a post apocalyptic story, science fiction, or climate fiction, then there's a small chance you've heard of this term or phrase. But you probably still don't know what it means exactly. An ecological collapse varies in scale depending on the context, and it can range in scale from something like a single ecosystem collapsing, in the case of the Aral Sea, or the entire planet's ecology collapsing, akin to a mass extinction similar to the one that wiped out the dinosaurs. A modern ecological collapse is an event where global biodiversity, along with air, soil, and water quality, would decline drastically, and human health and nutrition would decrease by a significant margin, which would essentially lead to a mass extinction event. The current mass extinction event that is unfolding as we talk is referred to as either the Holocene or Anthropocene extinction event, caused by human activity, and it is predicted to wipe out as much as 75% of all life on Earth. This mass extinction has an extinction rate of 24 to 85 times faster than the KPG extinction 66 million years ago, responsible for wiping out the non avian dinosaurs and 75% of all life on Earth. I will be creating a video in the near future on what the year 2100 will look like based off current predictions and trending climate and the population of wildlife. So, what can we do to stop an ecological collapse before it is too late? Well, one of the primary solutions that could work to both restore biodiversity and decrease our carbon footprint is to create more national parks and reserves. Currently, there are 63 national parks in the United States and 6,500 if we're talking globally across all continents and even in the oceans. National parks and wildlife corridors are a good way of preserving biodiversity, and if the better protected areas are safeguarded by poachers, loggers, farmers, or other shady people ready to invade, then they will be even more of a safe haven for wildlife. Also, for those who don't know, wildlife corridors are simply corridors of nature covered in trees, vegetation, or freshwater sources which act as crossings for wildlife, helping reduce roadkill and reproductive isolation. Some corridors have already been built, while others are being designed and conceptualized, and acts of architecture like these will hopefully help slow down habitat destruction, keeping vital ecosystems like rainforests, wetlands, and savannas healthy and out of harm's way. Creating more protected areas and wildlife corridors is only one of the many possible solutions to slowing down biodiversity loss. And other solutions, such as implementation of renewable energy, planting vegetation like trees to absorb carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, and implementing smaller houses for efficient living will also help us slow down biodiversity loss. There are two futures often portrayed in popular media, those being lush green cities and the high-rise dominated dystopians. Let's hope that through sustainable implementation that the natural world will remain intact and we don't end up losing 3/4 of all life on Earth thanks to our activities. Furthermore, let's all hope that the Earth in countless sci fi movies and books does not become the Earth in our own reality.